Have you ever taken the time to make a really good sandwich? You know, you take both pieces of bread and you put on your mayonnaise and your mustard, and you put on your different kinds of meats, your roast beef and your ham and your turkey, and you put your cheese and your lettuce and the tomatoes, and you put it together, you pile it on and make this really good scrumptious sandwich. And you go in to take a bite, and then you notice that on the little corner of the bread, you see a little piece of mold. Ugh. Yeah, I know, it's gross. So what do? Do you trash the entire sandwich? Or do you just piece off that little piece of mold and eat the rest of the sandwich? Well, to say that I wanted to be straight is an understatement. When I was a freshman in high school, I tried to kill myself because I was gay. And I survived in pain. So when that didn't work, I tried to cut out the gay part of me, just like that sandwich. My name is Eric Leocadio, and I am an ex-gay survivor. I became a Christian when I was 16 years old. Still in high school, right away I began to grow in my faith and in my knowledge of God, and I got involved in church ministries. I started to lead Bible studies. I started to become involved with music ministry and youth ministry and prison ministry and homeless ministry, and then I was serving the elderly, and I was serving people in the church and ushering and setting up chairs and pretty much doing whatever I could to be in ministry, to do good. And I pretty much engulfed myself in church culture. Everything I did was Christian. I listened to Christian music, I read Christian books, I read my Bible constantly, I, was cautious of certain kinds of rated R movies, and I just engulfed myself in this church culture. But there was another side of me. There was another side of me because I was still gay. I was still struggling with same-sex attractions. In the midst of all that ministry, I was still having and living with these same-sex attractions. And so I had this dualistic life. I had no real life outlet for my same-sex attractions. I denied it. Any kind of three-dimensional outlet that was public, at least. So I turned to internet pornography, and every once in a long while I would have a one-night stand or a hookup, some random experience. I'm not proud of it. It's just, what else was I supposed to do? I had to manage both of these worlds. This public Christian life that was all good, and then this other side of me that was just desperate to find some kind of outlet for my same-sex attractions. And so I went through this cycle. I constantly went through this cycle of denying my same-sex attractions, to being tempted, to giving in eventually, to feeling completely guilty about it afterwards, then having self-condemnation and shame, and then eventually coming back to Christ and finding His grace and asking for forgiveness, and being able to move on, and then living in denial again. And it was this constant cycle. It was torture. I pleaded with God. I pleaded with God to take this away from me. I didn't want to do these things. But what else could I do? I didn't know what to do with my same-sex attractions. I was gay and I didn't know what to do. And that was my closet. That was my closet. A place of secrecy, a place of hidden things. I wanted to change, but I didn't know how. And I realized that I couldn't change on my own. So I sought out the ex-gay programs of Desert Stream Ministries, and I participated in one form or another from 2002 to 2004. At first, I participated in the informal support groups called Cross Current in 2002 and 2003. Those were just small groups where we could ask for prayer and talk about having same-sex attractions. It was very freeing, actually, to finally be able to talk to somebody about it in church. And it felt good to be able to pray about it, to pray it away with somebody else besides me. And then in 2004, I enrolled in the 6-month Living Waters program. And it was a program designed to bring healing and restoration to what they refer to as sexual and relational brokenness. They taught me that I was broken for being gay. And in this process of 6 months, I left the program with tools that I could use to suppress my homosexuality. But even after the program, I was still gay. I spent hundreds of dollars and countless hours in the ex-gay program and countless more hours in prayer, pleading with God to take this away from me, to make me whole, to help me to see myself with the mind of Christ, is what they taught us. And I
thought it's over.
At the end of the day,
so I decided not to talk anymore.
I was still gay. I prayed for God to change me, and
Confused and scared.
I was still gay.
Confused and scared.
So then I changed my prayer, and I asked God to give me strength,
And I thought it's over.
because I figured
So I didn't bother to listen.
that even after going through the ex-gay program, trying to cut out this gay part of my life, after all of that, I realized that I may have to live with being gay for the rest of my life. So I asked for strength, hoping that I could move on. My name is Eric Leocadio, and my website is twoworldcollision.blogspot.com.